Hi, everybody. Hey, it's Friday. We made it through the week. As I do these videos and record the weekend service, I've been exposed to and learned a lot about video editing. Yeah, I know you wouldn't be able to tell sometimes by what I do, but I've had to learn a lot. And the transitions are what really capture my attention, that point between where you see Prayerful Pause with the pastor, and then you see me, and then at the end, the point between where you see me and you see the end cap with all the information on it. And there are different ways of editing that are built into the program that I use, and I'm going to just talk about 4 of them today, because I think what most of us don't realize is that all of our lives are spent in transition. They're moving from one point to another. One way that I think about transition is how my mind moves throughout the day. I'm thinking about a lot of different things, whether it's video making or I'm going to meetings or giving pastoral care and spending time with someone, or maybe I'm doing research for something I'm going to say, or I'm writing the service. You get the idea. And so different things come into my mind at different times. One way of transition that we all employ in life is the fade in and fade out. And visually, I won't be able to show these to you today because that would take way too much time that I don't have, because I have a meeting in just a little bit. But is the fade in and fade out. And we see this on television. For instance, we're watching something and it starts with a black screen, and then all of a sudden everybody's there. Or at the end of it, it kind of fades out and shuts down. That's very intentional on the part of the editor, because they want to kind of prepare you for whatever's going to come next. Sometimes we have that in life. Things fade in. We can see a problem coming from a mile away, right? And then slowly it comes to us and we're like, yeah, okay, now I need to deal with it. Or we've dealt with something and we know that just in time that will fade away and we're not going to have to worry about it anymore. So consider that when you're in transition. Well, some things just fade away. Another one is something that we don't see it literally in this way in life, but I think psychologically or emotionally, and that's called the dissolve. That's where, like, we might have a picture of Kitty and then a picture of me, and she will sort of dissolve away as I come into view a little more. It's not the same as fading, because it's like the particles of her disappear. And if you think about problems or things that we're focusing on in life, the more we focus on them, we sometimes realize, oh, that's not so important. Oh, that part doesn't really matter. And we get down to the other parts dissolve, and we get down to what's really important in what we're thinking about. And that's how things dissolve around us when we're in transition. The third is the one that I use the most, especially on Prayerful Pause. If you go back and look, you'll see how Prayerful Pause with the pastor starts to fade as I start to fade in. One's fading out. It's a cross fade, it's called. And I think of it, because I'm a musician, as one part is crescendoing as the other part is decrescendoing at the same time. So it's sort of seamless that one folds into the other. That's how I do a lot of life. I don't know about you. I think probably you do too. I think it's universal. I may be very focused on this right now, but in the back of my mind, I am already thinking of what's going to come next. Or if I'm listening to someone, sadly, we often do that. We're thinking of what's going to come next, and we need to focus on what's happening right now, or listening to what's happening right now. But when the time comes, then the other becomes more important, and this is no longer where my thinking is. This afternoon, when I'm not taping, I won't be thinking about taping at all. Unless something brings it back to mind. So that's a cross fade. And I think that the more we can do that, recognize that that's what we're doing, the more we can stay focused on where we need to be at any given time. The last one is just the hard cut. That's where something will go along and then boom, you'll just be in another place. And there's no transition other than just the sharp divide. We often think that matters of life and death are like that. We think, oh, it's the moment of birth or the moment of death. But there's been a huge outlay of energy and activity before that and after that. So I really would say that that's not the hard cut. You know where I would see a hard cut is like a graduation. You go along, you're a student, then boom, you're not. Or marriage, you're single, and then boom, you're not. Those are hard cuts. Those are the points of demarcation in our lives, which we all need to have, but that's a different kind of transition. Because how we respond to those, boom, that change, that affects how we move beyond that. Now, some of them are combined. Like if someone is dying, it can be the slow fade out or dissolve or whatever, and then it is a hard cut at the moment of death or at the moment of birth. You're gestating, labor, and then boom, things change. So these are often combined with each other. The thing, though, that I want to share with you today is that they are all forms of transition. And whether we are talking about an organization like a church or a neighborhood or a family being in transition, or we're talking about ourselves being in transition, we are always moving. We are always in transition, all the time. There's no getting around it. And so the more we can be aware of it, I think, the more we can focus on staying connected to God, which is one of the constants in our transition. So that's the message for today, I guess. Think about which kind of transition you are engaging in at any given moment. And then recognize that God's there. Spirit is with us through the whole transition. Right? And prayer is like the editor. Prayer can smooth things over for us in all of these kinds of transitions. All right, it's a Friday, so I'm going to say if you're in a position to financially support this ministry, we hope that you will. And you can contact us through the information on the end of the video. Zara and I thank you for your patience and for continuing to watch, to carve this time out of your busy life, to think of something greater than yourself. And in this case, it's the transitions, what they're like and how to deal with them. I have a transitional kitty right here, and she's a happy girl. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me for the Prayerful Pause of the Pastor. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church. And until next time, God bless, take care, and bye for now. Wait. Bye for now.